Are you using Price Labs or Wheelhouse or anything else?
We're using Price Labs.
Cool. Would you be willing to message me your login information for that too, so I can kind of hit you from both sides?
Sure.
Cool. Are you using a channel manager?
Owner res.
Okay, good call. I like OwnerRes a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I'll take the Airbnb link so I can see the front end, and then your the Price Labs information so I can see the back end. Okay, cool. I do like your diversity for your 5 photos. Your fifth one is probably your weakest. You probably
Mhm,
already knew that though. Your fifth photo is
mhm.
probably your weakest of it all. Hot tub mini golf game room. I like this. This is good. Dog friendly. I might want to take that out of the title because you can actually drive away people who don't have pets and are worried about pet hair.
Got it.
That could be just something that kind of knocks people out of the top. You only sleep 10 guests. Is there a limit in Gatlinburg, 2 per bedroom?
Well, 12 total.
Okay, you sleep 12 total?
No, that's their limit is 12.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're at 10, which means if you can get to 12, I'd try to go for it.
Okay.
So that'd be one thing. Is
Can I
this
ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
So the reason we are at 10, we're not fans of pull-out sofas.
Ah,
But we have 3 king suites. So that was why we tried to stay at 10. We don't have to, but our thought was 3 king suites and a bunk room
With queens.
with queen over queen.
Yeah.
So that's how we got to 10 with just the
that's cool.
bedrooms.
Yeah, you could take one of the king suites and turn it into a 2 queen room where the queens are side by side. Because for that size, you need 2 king suites for sure. The third room, you could do a queen and a queen next to each other if you got room that's big enough.
Okay.
That's what I would do if you don't want to do anything goofy. But then otherwise, rollaway beds are how we solve the problem of not wanting people sleeping on couches or sofa beds.
Okay.
We like rollaway beds a lot because you can get quality mattresses on these things, and they're totally standard, and they give you those individual sleeping surfaces. Gatlinburg, you're not going to get this as much, but in some cities where it's a lot of workforce, you want more beds because guys won't ever share a bed. It doesn't matter if it's a king. 2 guys aren't going to sleep on the same bed. Guys are like that. So the
Right.
rollaway beds really help you get that count, the bed count, not just the guest count. In some cities, you have a 3 bedroom, and then we have 3 rollaway beds in there so guys can actually just have their own individual beds because some guys would just rather sleep on it and then share a bed. That will give you the extra two people. That can be helpful. Let's see here. I really like the color of your photos. I like the tone a lot. I think the tone of your photos is really good. I think your hot tub shot, I would like to get something a little bit more establishing. This is a little too close up for the first hot tub shot. It's almost like a POV that you're shooting, which is cool, but we still need an establishing shot before the POV shot, I think.
There is another one further down. It's on a screen porch, so it like takes up the whole room of the screen porch.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now what's fun about this? You have the proper size container for the space, and you're already kind of going in the direction. I would hang 2 robes instead of a towel. I'd like to get 2 hotel robes. I think
Okay.
that'd be cool. Instead of the artwork with the ox, I think you should go in some direction. If you were going to describe your place, maybe what like, statement pieces you think are most suitable for your place. Music. Is that one of the main things?
So we're not really into music as far as playing music. I can't carry a note in a pail.
Okay.
The
But
previous
yeah,
owners,
they
they were
had them.
from the previous owner who were into music, and we're like, well, let's just keep them. Previous guests from the previous owner might want them, and
They had
Okay.
them in their game room. We moved them up to the top floor stairwell.
I guess what I'm thinking, like, here's a few things that you could do with this photo, right? So where this wall with the cow with the emo hair is, you could do a mead horn on wall. I'm just gonna give you like some images if I can find them so I can visualize. One direction you could go is kind of like outdoorsman kind of thing where you've got like a meat horn on the wall and you've got like a decorative axe and you've got other stuff on the wall because it's very woodsy, right? So
yes,
Right.
this wall could have stuff like otherwise you could do um elk head mounted. Not elf head. Sorry. That would
oh,
scare the crap out of the kids. So you could do like an elk head on the wall, something like that,
that's
like typical
cool. I like
game.
that.
This would start to define a direction for your home, right? So if you're going to go like game hunter kind of thing, then some of the stuff that you do could really, really change in the space. I do think the poker table kind of does lend to the outdoorsy, masculine, big game hunter kind of thing. So you might actually just repaint this room to be like a more masculine color, just to really dial that in.
We had already
Um,
talked about that. Yeah.
yeah, and for your game room, You could literally get the big game hunter shooter game, and instead of where that Connect 4 is, you put that up there. Have you seen that game?
I have.
So yeah, you get one of those big game hunter kind of games. People would just think it's maybe the coolest thing to have like a buck hunting kind of thing. That could be something you add to the game room that would then be themed in there. This then starts to really push you into this direction of outdoorsy hunting, and we'd want to lean into that. So then this room here, we would redesign this room slightly because you would want to have a animal hide rug. And you'd go for something like this, and you want your design to start to really circle around like the concept of an animal hide rug. If you can get this, and you probably would want a fake mantle like they do in that photo too, uh, where you got the fireplace. You
So
could
we have a
renovate.
fireplace on the other wall.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me catch up then. Let me think. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so for this, yeah, this room can absolutely start to change. And what we're doing is we're picking a direction that speaks to people instead of just embodying the middle ground. I might even change the couch to be like a leather one. If I was going to keep leaning into this, I might change the couch to be leather. It is secondary. You could probably still pull this off without forcing the couch change, but I think it would help. Having that like bearskin rug on the ground could be cool. I would try to have other outdoorsy things going on. I might even like mount a decorative hunting bow, not like a compound bow, but with like one of the wood draw ones that you might like imagine like an archer from like the feudalist ages to use, right? One that
Right.
doesn't have all the mechanics, so it doesn't just like people don't pick it up and break it. Um, so I would probably look for an opportunity to hang stuff like that around. So this would be like the minimal stuff that we would change. If you want to make some changes to your place to start to speak to people based on the product, these would be a couple of the changes that I would make to give your listing more of an individual personality instead of just being a listing. That is, I like to work from the top down. Okay, so like we are going to get the price, I promise you.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but yeah, the
We want
dog
to pick your
friendly.
brain on
Yeah,
everything. So
yeah, it's you get the whole thing, I promise. Whether or not you like it. So yeah, the dog friendly coming out gives you more clicks, right? Possibly. Then the home having more of its own personality can like really draw a certain group of people in. That's important. Here, we want some calls to action. So, and we also want you to use second person language. This part right here doesn't really start to tell a story that brings people in. You're explaining the property, and then you end with the whether you're escaping to relax, hike, or explore, this place is perfect for you, right? It's a little too normal. So I would like you guys to write to the person in a whole paragraph here, like second person language. See if I got an example. Um, let's go to San Diego. San Diego is really competitive also, so we might find some inspiration in the way that they do their stuff. Let's click the top listing and see if they actually do this right. Oh, look at that immediate call to action. That's fun. That's a really
Yeah.
cool idea. Welcome to Friendly Home. I like that. That's cool, but we're still not they're still not telling the story yet, but this is actually pretty cool, right? And then this is what I like you to do with the space. See the bullet points? We want to have a bullet point of everything amazing about the property, like everything you'll love will be in the space. So we are copying this, and then where it ends with book your stay today, they're ending with a call to action, which is also correct. I would like your call to action to ask to be sent a message. Send us a message for something like so we can help you plan your trip, something like that. Because send us a message is less committal. It's easier to get compliance, and we really want them to comply with our call to action. So make your call to action about sending a message, but the space here is really good, and I want you guys to try to make this list as like big and exciting as possible. We can talk about what that final version actually looks like. But then let's crank up the price so you can see maybe what the best in the market do. There we go. Luxury properties have to tell the story. Oh, there it is. Wake up in a luxurious home, peacefully having coffee in a swing. See this? That's the story we're talking about, right? So I like the words you over that, but they're doing it without the word you. This whoever did their copywriting did a great job, right? This line right here is that this is like the kind of body that we're looking for. Now, with the space, they're doing the proper use of the word you here. When you enter the home, you are greeted with a beautiful entryway, courtyard, etc. This is good. You're greeted with a beautiful entryway. I like that word greeted there. This is the stuff we want to do to optimize our description, is writing with this type of storytelling, sensory input. Light the fireplace while you catch up with your friends over sunset. You're actually embedding future memories into their brain that they can imagine. It's really strong stuff. So that's going to be your description tips. I'm not moving too fast, am I?
No.
Okay, cool.
Just
All right.
one question
Yeah.
though about the hot tub area.
Yeah.
I'm more specific and Jen is more generalized. Our brains work totally different. She's an engineer.
Okay.
I'm just a dumb old country boy.
Okay.
But so we were considering doing a mural on the wall there. The
Mural to
reason
the right or mural to the left?
above the hot tub,
What would you like the mural to be?
we were thinking a mural of bears in a hot tub.
Like make it look like the bears were sitting in the hot tub, or a big one big bear was sitting in the hot tub, and then might be a photo op for people and their families.
Okay. So you would like, I'm going to add your photo here. One second. I just tried to download your hot tub
Okay.
so we could use it. We're going to use ChatGPT to,
Cool.
yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Now, if you think that's a corny idea or not a good idea, just tell me. I have no problem with that.
I mean, if you went really family friendly, a mural might be able to be fine, right? But if you are trying to be more masculine with everything else, then no, not a mural, but you could get a like a nice like National Geographic level quality photo. Now, you're probably still seeing my ChatGPT screen, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay, you're saying, okay, so there we go.
Now we can.
Okay, so I've got a protocol that I made that helps me blend things up. I want to reimagine the left wall behind this hot tub, and on the right wall, 2 robes fits in a hunting lodge. Let's see what it does first. And then then we'll do a mural after that.
Okay. And we're fine. We don't have to do a mural, but I just
No.
kind of wanted to.
Well, what's cool is we get ChatGPT to generate both, and you see which one you like more. It helps with the imagination. Also, one of the thing that about your friend's booking, you notice how you have all of these amenities down here, like so many of these.
Yeah.
When we go and we search on Airbnb, we can filter for stuff. So let's say we search. I was doing some stuff with a student in Apex, right? So now that Apex, I want you to imagine that every button here gets documented almost like a snapshot when a guest searches. And then that's the beginning of a funnel, okay? So if I was searching for a property and I clicked, I wanted to allow pets, free parking, self-check-in, washer, TV, has to have all these things. I just clicked all of these, right? I start clicking a bunch of buttons, including Instant Book and whatever else. Then I find a listing and I book this one listing, okay? Because I found this listing and then booked it, every single filter gets saved into my search query, okay? And if I leave a 5-star review, I want you to imagine that my allows pets got a 5-star review, my free parking got a 5-star review, my self-check-in got a 5-star, right? Because if we look at like how reviews work, we know that people can review us on value, location, cleanliness, communication, all of it, right? You've seen that, right?
Right.
So Airbnb does something called right fitting, which is they're trying to find the right listing for the job. So what'll happen, you'll see in reviews now, where Airbnb gets really specific in the reviews. This is a group trip, which means multiple people paid for the trip. This person stayed with kids, or this person stayed with a pet, and this person stayed with kids. That means in order for the stayed with kids one to happen, somebody, when they searched, they went up here and they actually added children, right? This other one where it said stayed with a pet, they had to go up here and they had to click pets. These are all getting indexed. And just the same way, all those little amenities that I told you, they get indexed too. So what we want you to do is we want you to get a 5-star review from someone who searched for, like, say, 6 adults, 2 kids, and a pet. We want that search to start first, okay? We then want that person to add a bunch of filters and to redo the search, okay? And then we want them to select your listing, book, and leave a 5-star review.
Okay.
And the reason why is next time, now, because in Gatlinburg, that's where you're at, right? Gatlinburg?
Yes.
Now, anytime that somebody searches for pets, you have a 5-star review on this. And what Airbnb does, like now that it says we're looking for pets, If I click on any of these listings, I expect to see stayed with pets and stayed with kids. See at the top where it says most relevant? Look at the top, most relevant. It gave
Yep.
me pets, 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 pets,
Right.
right? So it's indexing this listing's rank, which was number 2. Let me back out now so we can see this all correctly. This listing's rank being number 2 is because it has these relevant pet reviews, okay? This listing's rank being number 1 now is because it has relevant pet and kids reviews. See all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you want to come to the top of search in Gatlinburg and completely gut everybody else, we need to increase the density of 5-star reviews where they've interacted with the filter section and with the guest and pets count.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to get on the board for those things, and then you'll actually show up better in rank. So that's a rank hack. So now that's a little overdone. Okay, that's a lot of animals. Jesus,
I
kill
know a lot of
everybody.
hunters in my small town, so I could probably come up with that many.
Well,
Well, it's a
the
little
one
too
thing
much.
I will say though is that Gatlinburg, it's very close to Pigeon Forge, which has Dolly World. I mean, it's a very family friendly. Like we have to have 2 pack and plays and a, high chair and a booster chair because it is such a family friendly area. It's
Yep.
like Key West in the mountains for families,
100%. That makes a lot of sense. And in your case, then also how you signal that in your listing. Is your listing still up here? Yeah, okay. So how you signal all this in your listing is another part of winning over the reservation. So your drone shot of outside where the kids get to play, that's cool. It shows you like family friendly stuff. The popcorn for the theater, this could be more close up so people can really better understand. I would like you to, let's go back. Why did it just do that? That was weird. I would like this image actually just to be from the left of the popcorn box to the right of the popcorn machine. I would like a real close up. And I would like you also to have the red and white Coca-Cola cups. I would like you to have Sour Patch Kids or Warheads or other candies too. At your nightly rate, you probably should just provide some of those for movie night anyway,
Okay.
Okay.
right? And make it look like a real AMC theater kind of like spread of candies and soda and stuff. If you leave
Yeah.
that in there, people will like it. One of the Airbnbs here in Vegas, I'm in Vegas for VRMA. They actually have a claw machine set on easy mode, small claw machine. And so even though it's on easy mode, it's still hard to use. But they've got like a claw machine, which they aren't actually that expensive. And they fill it with like candies and bags of chips and stuff. And you play it for free, and you're just trying to get a bag of potato chips, and you're fighting like hell with this claw machine to get a bag of potato chips, and it's fun. It's really fun. So that's a cool little gimmick.
That's a great idea. I love that idea.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's really fun. So let's go to Chattanooga. How you signal experience is a big part of all of this. So the games are cool and all. I like this photo generally. I think it's cool. We aren't necessarily showing the family stuff where they could be shown, maybe early on enough. This pet dog bowl thing, that's cool. I like that. Your coffee time, this is close. I do want to see better coffee because K-cups for some families are just an absolute no way, right? So I think you guys should invest in a better coffee station. If this is the extent of your coffee marketing, this is not good enough marketing for the price. Does that make sense?
So you want us to provide like beans, coffee beans, and a burr
Yeah.
grinder or something like
Yeah,
that?
so like a espresso
What is a
machine.
K-cup and drip?
It's just not in that
It's
photo.
just not
Okay,
next-
cool. So yeah, because if you have one that shows that it's a K-cup and drip, then that would be better. Machines are kind of like this big, but it's like drip and K-cup.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's like
How many cup of a pot is it?
10 or 12 cups.
Cool. All right, good. Then you're good. Yeah, so we want to show that photo. Let me try to show you coffee station at home. What we're really looking at is marketing, right? So we would like a shot. You see the machine?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you want to clearly see the decaf and the regular coffee. You want to clearly see the tea there. It's a good shot, but I don't actually think that the coffee is clear enough in this shot, right? It's just not quite close up enough. This shot is really cool, but this also is not quite close up enough for them to see everything that they get. We want to very clearly put it in the photo. I think this distance away is a really good distance. Then we just need to make sure we have clarity. What is actually in the coffee station? And if you can make sure that they clearly see that they got the sugar, the creamer, the coffee, the decaf, this is a beautiful shot that just needs the clarity of what products that they're getting with the coffee station. So
Okay.
that makes sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. And everything that we do, we want to signal like this. So we're marketing, right? If you look at your kitchen, you probably also have skipped doing this with your kitchen.
Yeah, so the photographer did take pictures of the appliances and stuff. I think when we were putting the pictures in, we were trying to keep it to between what,
I
30,
think like 30 to 36
and
photos.
so we were like, okay,
Oh,
what do we
where's the
want? This
kitchen?
or that? So
You're really missing your kitchen photos. I don't see any kitchen photos. Wow. Okay. Okay. You actually have a big gaping problem. This could be what, if you're actually suffering, if this is the extent of your kitchen photo, that's you don't actually have any kitchen photos. We need about 4 solid kitchen photos. This is a good first establishing shot, but we need to get one that's over by the stove. And so I call it a kitchen medium shot, and most places don't have it. Stove close up with pots. See if one actually really. So this shot is actually kind of in the right direction. See this kind of like just like burners front, right? This angle is the proper angle, but now we want to back away a little bit. So that way, even with this angle though, we want a little bit of counter to show so we can put a cutting board, a knife on the cutting board. We want to show the knives. We want to show the cooking utensils. The kitchen is ready to cook in some significant way. So this shot's actually pretty cool. It shows the cooking utensils. It's not clear enough for what we're doing because it's not just that we're trying to be artistic and pretty, but we're marketing to children in a way. Travelers kind of lose IQ points, and we treat them like they're less intelligent and less perceptive than they are. So even though this is good, it's still not clear enough. I want to see like all the stuff that I had to cook with in a shot that's very clear for me. I'd even call it Chef's Kitchen and
You
see
did
what
an episode on this, right?
yeah, I've done a few videos. I think I've really
Yeah.
mentioned this.
Yeah.
Um, it is extremely significant. So we don't want to overlook this. Like this shot is actually really good because it shows you like a full set of cookware, shows the utensils on the right. You see the cutting board over there. This is almost the shot we want. You don't need to put the pasta and the asparagus, but man, this is a cool shot. And if you recreated the shot with a little bit more clarity of how good your knife block is, then that'd be great. And if you have another shot that has all your kitchen toys, like if you have a rice maker, blender, bread hook, and other stuff, we'd want another shot like this that's on the counter that just has all of your cool kitchen toys. So, because a lot of families, they're going to cook, and we
Right.
really want to promote the kitchen as useful. That is actually that's probably your weakest thing in your listing right now, is you really have no context for a person who cares about a kitchen. It's just really undermarketed.
In which we care about kitchens when we book VRBOs. So
So you get
that's
it. Yeah.
yeah.
This will really resonate with you guys. I think you can have a night and day difference. Real estate photographers don't understand this because they're not marketers, right? We're doing product photography. We're designing our photos to show something that people need to know or need to feel. Imagine this. Now that we're doing marketing, what do you think should get added to this photo since we're doing marketing?
the shampoo and conditioner and all that.
Let's go deeper. Let's really try to imagine a moment. Let's create a moment.
I don't know, a cup of coffee.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you're in the right direction. Okay, so now we're using the bathroom in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now imagine it's a his and her sink, right? So you can imagine you can have a couple female things on the right side and a couple male things on the left,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Got it.
So that shows his and her. You could do something like that. So you might have like a little makeup bag with like a blush brush and like a mascara or whatever. And then over here, you've got like a can of shaving cream and a fresh razor and something else. Like on like a leather, like on a small leather travel kit, right? So left and right, that'd be his and her. They could sell the moment, right? If we're gonna sell the moment for, let's say we're gonna redo this and sell the moment, right? Actually, let's look at the mural. That's the mural that it just created. That's to be more family friendly. I think something like this is kind of cute compared to the just wall of heads, you know? But but what you can do is you notice that with ChatGPT here, I'm trying to come up with a design and then I can refine it and decide how I like it,
Yeah.
Right,
right?
right.
And so one thing I might change is I might actually change this wall color on the right. I might actually want this to look like natural wood instead of painted wood, right?
So that's
So
the exterior color of our house. It was natural. So we actually painted over, wasn't it natural?
Yeah, it was natural.
yeah,
Uh,
so you might want to recreate this to be almost like a Japanese sauna in its coloring. Like if this is all natural colored wood, and then anything else you did with it, that natural colored wood that surrounds the hot tub is just really appealing, right? So that's one other consideration I'd change for your hot tub.
Quick question. How
Yeah.
many photos do you try to stick around for your listings?
I don't have a ceiling. I just have a rule that I cannot repeat myself.
Okay,
And then I also look to see if anything is like kind of ugly that would make somebody less excited, and then I delete it, right? Like this photo is almost repeating yourself because you got another one with games facing the other way. This
right,
one's cool because it actually shows the view though.
right.
So
Yeah.
so that's fresh. So this actually is not repeating yourself because it does give you a fresh take on the moment that you can create there.
So
So
right there, go back up a little bit.
yeah,
The house shot. Over on the right side, I can give you a better picture, but on that right side, that's what people see when they drive down our driveway. Another thing we were considering there is doing some kind of fun mural on the outside, the
right
exterior
there.
of the house,
Yeah.
something about Gatlinburg or Overlook Chalet.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would get a big long wood bench for the ground right there and then have a big mural behind it, but like a big long wood bench so people can sit down where the mural is behind them.
Okay.
Good idea.
That's probably what I would do. You're right on the money for that. So a lot of what we just discussed is creating a space that's a little bit more curated or a little bit more intentional in a direction, like the hot tub, right? Like the whole mounted heads or mounting the hunting axe. Now instead go in a Viking direction, have an axe and a drinking horn mounted on the wall. What we've done is we've worked on, like, this is a really good shot. This kids room shot, that's a money shot. This is really pretty. Kids walk in. This photo shows, imagine the kids walk in and they see this and they go, wow, that's what this shot is actually expressing, is what the kids are going to experience when they walk into the room. This shot does a really good job with that POV. This game room doesn't exactly show like the moment that you walk into the game room and you go, oh my God, it's so cool. It's still a cool game room, but it doesn't market the same way that this photo does. I do like this shot. Um, I think this person who you got this from must be in the program because or watched my content, because the desk with the makeup mirror in the back where it's a multifunctional is something we've been talking about for a couple years now. Um,
That
and it's
was me. That was me watching you. That's when we bought that
okay,
mirror.
cool. All right, cool. But say the person before you must have been watching the content. Um, then these rooms don't have individual personality per se yet. And I may not be a fan of the striped quilts. I might actually still want to go with hotel quality white sheets and white like bedding. I might want to go that direction still.
We've thought about
Um,
that, but with dogs in the beds.
okay, so now here's where you actually get really specific, okay? You need to market to the people who don't have dogs. And then you also want to supply this over quilt for when there is a pet stay coming up because they have to declare it. So it does become more managerial work where you're going to do the white sheet thing all the time, but then whether you put the quilt over the top is whether or not there's going to be a pet. It is a little extra work, but we need these photos to sell everybody. It's super important that these photos sell, and that's the thing that we've lost, right? Do you have two TVs in the living room?
No, it's a painting above the fireplace.
Oh, that okay. So this is okay. So the TV, I think we need like a floating shelf over here. Just something, it's called grounding. Whenever you have something this high up the wall, whether it's artwork or a TV, you need to ground it. So a floating shelf is fine. You could get like a little console if you want to, but if you don't want to put like a whole piece of furniture on the floor, we still need to get a floating shelf under it.
So the door to the master bedroom is to the right of there. And we were thinking we thought about that, putting a piece of furniture or something like that there, but they would hit it with luggage and stuff.
It's still an aesthetic thing, and so
Okay.
we still need to maybe take the risk. So
Okay.
you get a 4-inch deep floating shelf, something that's very low profile, that doesn't stick out the wall very far. You get one that's wide enough for the TV, but doesn't stick out very far. That's
Okay.
probably what I would go for. Something of like this style. And you can have it high up enough, close enough to the TV that it's not as much of a risk with the furniture, but people will dodge it if it's on the wall. They'll
Okay.
usually do pretty good. Um, well, that's kind of fun.
Oh,
Um,
Yeah,
wow.
that's cool.
yeah. So Tada, look, we've now this is like maybe getting somewhere, right? So we go, okay, maybe we can do something like this. Now, the point of this though is we want to create like a moment that seems really cool. So now if we kept in this direction, you might actually like try to get animal pelt style steps, like actually fur coat them, or get like an outdoor animal pelt rug on the ground. There's a whole bunch you could do with this shop. But yeah, that jumped off the page a little bit. So this is a cool direction that's possible to go in. This is mostly what I think we need to cover before we get to price, right?
Okay.
Because with the optimization of the title, your description, your photos, doing the proper amount of marketing and selling, now you have the most consideration, okay? And now that you have consideration, now we can ask ourselves, is our price right? Because there could be things knocking you out of the sale where people are just not choosing you because you're just not being clear enough with your kitchen, right? Or it just doesn't look like you put enough effort into something, and they just now they're accusing you of being low effort, and they just don't like it, and then they don't give you business. When you get knocked out of consideration, it doesn't matter what the price is, right? It's completely like non-price related issue. And then we can accidentally attribute price as the problem where price was not, you know?
Right.
So now could I get your Price Labs login stuff?
That may take me a second, but
Cool.
I'll figure it out.
Cool. And by the way, this is recorded. We can give you a copy of this
Okay.
if you need it. What's the email that you log into Price Labs? Okay, so Bluebird Day Cottage. Overlook is the chalet we were looking at though, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's see what we have for you here. You're doing a lot of hard overrides, is that right?
You know what? I don't really know what I'm doing. So I
Okay.
have been overriding pricing and nights mainly.
Okay. You are too expensive for super last minute. You might already know that though. Let me try to give you like some understanding as to why. So we're looking at Chattanooga right now, right? We're gonna
Nope,
kill all the
Gatlinburg.
filters.
Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg. Sorry. Ugh.
Same thing. It's in Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly. My brother used to live just south of Nashville, worked for Dave Ramsey for quite a few years. So
Okay.
cool guy. Okay, so here we go. Now, when we look at last minute bookings for what's available for, say, 3 days, and we compress rates down, this now is $400 a night after cleaning fees. Okay.
Our cleaning fee's expensive. It's $325.
Well, and she wanted it to be 475, and we said we need to get some bookings before you can charge us more. I mean, finding a cleaner is competitive. We had
We
people,
interviewed 4 or 5.
well, and probably 4 or 5 said they're not taking on new business. So
Yeah.
it's
So actually, let's do this. We're gonna do plus Airbnb service fees. So I think you're probably gonna come in around the $1,800 mark.
So we've like just gotten our 2 reviews probably in the last week and a half.
Okay.
And
Cool.
our third guest is there now.
Yeah. So yeah, when I look at your calendar here, I do like that you've got you got your booking until the 18th, so you got a little bit of window here, but you've got a good amount of bookings, right? You're not getting completely murdered, which is important. Um, Now your listing is about $1,500 for these 3 days, and so some of your actually hold on, you are for 4 nights going to be a little bit more, right? So let's go like this. You're 1871 for 4. So one thing I would like you guys to do, right, is I would like to take a look at listings that you think are your real competition, and you can heart them and make a wish list, right? So this one is probably your competition. This one's probably your competition here too.
Question on that, Sean.
Yeah.
So when you're dialing it in to like your top 10 competitors, is it more important to have the same amount of bedrooms versus the same amount of people that sleep there, or the max people that sleep there?
No, it's actually really about aesthetic perception. We're going for perception right now. So,
Okay.
for example, like what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to do what's called I'm going to basically game this to look at all the recently viewed. I'm going to view the ones that I think are actually your competition. Instead of making a permanent wish list, I'm going to do this. Really hope now it lets me do that wish list of recently viewed. Thank God. Cool. We saved it. Okay. So we got cabins in Gatlinburg. This is a recently viewed wish list. I can actually I guess I'm gonna have to make a new. Oh, hold on. I'm going to give you an example, but it's not going to be your market because I just already have like a fully built wish list for this.
Okay.
Let's use this Cholo one. There's 50 units in this Cholo wish list. Okay. And so as you can see, this map on the right shows us for certain days what people's prices are and whether or not they're booked. So if I go like this and check the 16th through the 20th, this is showing me exactly which of my competitors are booked and what the prices are for the ones that remain.
Yeah.
So this allows you to really navigate day by day. You're like, man, I just can't seem to get these days booked. I don't know what my price should be. A wish list like this will let you look at your competitors that are not booked and look at the competitors that are booked. You notice down here, this is these ones that are. You can determine out of the ones that are unbooked, which ones are going to kick your butt and which ones you're better than, and you then determine where in this ladder of price you want to be based on how confident you are that you can get a booking with the amount of time that you have left. So the more time we have to get a booking, the higher up the ladder you can climb. The less time we have to get a booking, the lower down the ladder we go is generally the idea.
Okay.
But I'll teach you how to use it in more depth as we go because you guys have plenty of time with me. But your first bit of homework is I'd like you to make a wish list like this so that way we can use it in the future.
Okay.
So that's going to be a tool. Now, with that said, okay, so you're down to 320 here. I think that's okay. But your cleaning fee is high, right? And these days are abandoned, right? You may not get anything from these extra days because, they are kind of left behind. Here's the way I would behave with this. Anything that has a really good ADR, we do not want to risk losing that reservation usually. So depending on which channel if this is an Airbnb reservation, I will drop the rates below. But if it's a VRBO reservation, I won't. Okay. And the reason why is if I drop this rate down to like 180 and get a booking and then the person doesn't check out in time or they smoke, and then I have to cancel this reservation right here. If Airbnb has a guest that causes me to cancel another Airbnb reservation, they have to pay me that money. That's the loss of income from air cover. But if an Airbnb guest comes in and then causes me to cancel a VRBO booking, Airbnb won't pay me for that. Okay. So whether you decide to drop prices before reservations for single days will be based on whether or not the next booking is an Airbnb one. And I would usually just drop the rates on Airbnb, just so you make sure you have an Airbnb to Airbnb back to back. So Airbnb's coverage is unique to that if one Airbnb reservation affects the next one, you can cancel that reservation and invoke loss of income.
Okay.
It's very cool. So with that said, I think your price drops here are actually completely valid. I think you're doing good with these rates. I do not have a problem with what you've listed so far. Dropping down to one night stays is also responsible within a certain period of time. I really think that having a 2-day minimum here might still be a little too short, maybe. Because right now it's the 12th, isn't it? Yeah, it's the 12th. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are all 1 days, that's fine. But a month from now is November 12th, right? Which is right here. And so to drop down to a 2-day minimum, like with like less than 30 days, with more than 30 days still, I would still try to get a 3-day booking out of this. I would just actually I'd want to incentivize it to like maybe like give them a good like price for this other day right here. So here's what you can do for this, right? You go like this and you go 3-day minimum, okay? Like that.
Yep.
Now, we can actually go and make a rule set that would give a 3-day discount, but instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to drop the price down to say 260, okay? Now that's 120 off, okay? We're going to do the same thing with this one. And that's also 120 off. What happens though is we now are very likely to get a 3-day stay that looks like this. Because if somebody wants this weekend, they have to book a 3rd day. But we've now made the price for the day before and the day after relatively cheap. 260 is nice and low. And that means that when somebody does search for a 3-day stay, we will be affordable, right? But we're forcing that outcome is the way we did that here.
Do we have to make the day on the 13th part of the 3-day or no?
No, No, because it's like this Friday, this day has to be a 3-day booking. So that means they could do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That could happen too,
So
right?
I remember I had an issue with this with, okay. I thought Price Labs told me, well, whatever day they start, like if they book it, because I was like, why was this person, it was over holiday, and I was like, why were they able to just book 2 nights when we have a 4 night? And they said, well, because their first night was a 1 night stay, so they had applied to the rest, or I don't even remember what it was. But if
Yep.
you're
Every day that you touch, the minimum stay for this day plays
is
in.
that
Yeah.
is so it rules. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's what I had thought. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, if Price Labs had a bug or so, I'll call Price Labs and ask, you know,
It was a
I'll ask.
while ago. It was several months ago, so
Okay.
maybe it was a
Yeah.
bug and they fixed it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And so here's another indicator of when we want to do this. Both of these days are light blue, which you can see is good at the bottom.
Right.
If we look at Friday the 2nd here, only that one day is light blue. The other days before aren't really, right? So this may not be a strong enough weekend to be that forceful, but you may find like you see, you extended your length of stay minimums. You guys crushed that. You did a good job. You're already 2 steps ahead. The fact that you made these longer minimum length of stay is exactly what you should do with a run like this. So good job.
Now, but the pricing on those days, I've got the 10 people competitors logged into Price Labs, and it, if I remember correctly, it's on the high end. Our night price versus theirs.
Okay, that's fine for now, right? Now here's the
Yeah.
one thing though that we do want to always ask is our listing correct for a Thanksgiving or holiday? Um, why would somebody not book your place on Christmas? And you're asking a good amount of money, right? Are you
Right.
giving them a Christmas experience? Do we see a Christmas tree? Do we see
No.
okay. That might be what kills you,
Well, and
actually.
we have to. From what we're told, everybody puts a Christmas tree up. So I'm actually tomorrow I was gonna start
Cool.
contacting decorating companies to see if they could put a tree up for us, because that's just standard in that area.
Yeah. So now also look at what other types of trees other people are putting up and see if there's anything that you can do that does have a cool flair. Um, like for me, you don't necessarily want to do this because this doesn't fit your style, but my Christmas tree that I have in my property that has the grand piano in the bedroom, it's an entirely black, 15-foot tall black Christmas tree, and all the ornaments are black.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But that's rare. I'm in a big city. I'm in a like, and it's got its own look. Nobody else's Christmas tree is gonna look like that. I don't think you should go black. Absolutely not, because I don't think it fits your kind of like Game Lodge look. But if you go in the Game Lodge look, or you go with the whole Viking thing, um, um, create a living room with a Christmas tree that themes with this Viking style. Let's see if we get some inspiration from this, right? Because if you go in this direction, now we want to see if we can extend it through the whole house. Um, in the world of music, we call it a motif, and I think in design might actually have motifs too. I want to find out if so you can take this away for your own research. Does interior design use motif? Okay, so motifs are reoccurring elements. It happens in music all the time. Like a motif would be bum 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 bum. That bum 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 is a motif, right? In interior design, motifs are reoccurring things that create cohesion. And I'm glad they use the same phrase, so I don't have to learn anything new. And so the goal here is to create motif within maybe the Viking elements or the outdoorsy elements, right? So I'm going to see if this thing can help us with that motif. Look where we were actually in Price Labs. Okay, so this is one way to look at information, which is kind of fun. What we do like to do with this also is we like to run a pace report. Okay, this family chalet's got a booking, right? And then this dog-friendly hot tub has a booking, and that means that this Friday has 2 bookings. 3 actually, right next door to Ober. You already have a booking for this day. Okay, so somebody else has the next door to Ober thing. Okay, so right now this day has 3 bookings, which means if you gave it a pace score, it is pacing higher than this Sunday, which has 1 day. This Monday has 0, right? One of the things that most people get really, really wrong is they go into here and they do occupancy based adjustments.
I watched a few of your videos and I made some changes in there, but I don't think it's very solid.
Yeah, so occupancy-based adjustments, PriceLabs actually does this incorrectly, just so you know, okay? This is based on internal occupancy, where what we would love to have, we want occupancy-based adjustments on the thing that we're looking at right here. If we have a day where 5 of your competitors are booked, like right here, look at this right here. So Sunday the 28th through the 1st, if these are getting booked up, we can be confident on our prices, right? Now we look at the remaining competition. There's somebody with 2,500 a night, somebody at 1,100 a night, somebody at 1,400 a night. That's you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you're at 14. We've got to beat this person at 11. We've got to beat this person at 25. We've got to beat this person at 13, 700 and 900. And then this person is no longer relevant because they don't have availability. So there's 2 or 3 listings that are cheaper than you, maybe 4, right? There's 4 listings that are cheaper than you. You are the second most expensive listing out of the 6 that are remaining.
That's all PriceLab pricing.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
this is important because sometimes we're going to argue with PriceLabs is my point.
Okay,
Sometimes
gotcha. Okay.
So now you are also the most expensive listing that also has a long length of stay requirement. This
Right.
bad boy here is over $2,000 a night, but he'll let you stay for 3 nights. Have you heard about my Rio Carnival example?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, it was buried in a video a year ago. Imagine Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to come stay at your place, right? But he only wants to stay for 3 days, right? Leo wants to fly in on a helicopter, spend Christmas in Gatlinburg, and then get out on Sunday. He doesn't want to goof off, right? He is okay with spending $2,500 a night, but he's not okay with being forced to stay 5 nights because for him, money matters less than time, right? So one thing that you can do for these holiday days, if you wanted to compete with this person and beat them on price, but also allow for a 3-day stay, you can make your rate say $2,100 a night. And then you can make a rule set on Airbnb that says for a 5-day stay, they get a discount. And let me try to show you what I mean, just in case you didn't follow.
You do it in OwnerRes or Airbnb?
The rule set, you might be able to actually push the rule set through OwnerRes, but I prefer to do it on Airbnb because I like the color coding. This is
I
one of
haven't done anything with price sets on Airbnb.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
This could be the new opportunity for you, I guess.
Okay.
So this is I was just playing with the student stuff, so I'm logged into a student here, obviously, and things being goofy. But I want you to imagine that these are the dates that we're trying to change. And you said like normally your rate's 500. That's your target price is 500 for these days, and you want to get booked for 500. That's 2,500, right? For 500 times 5.
Yep.
So we want to make 2,500 bucks. Well, what can we charge for 3 days that makes 2,500 bucks? 830, 834 would get you $2,501 or something, $2,502. Okay. So now though, for a 5-day stay, 834 times 5 is like 3,000 plus that, like 3,170, I think. So if we're gonna go from 3,100 back down to 2,500, right? We need to look at what that discount is, and that's roughly 600 bucks off. So that's roughly 20% off. So we would make a rule set, and I'm going to show you where this comes in. So where you change the nightly price right here, you go to a rule set, you scroll down the bottom, add new rule set, and you I could do 5-day, 22% off. Okay, and I might do this. I might color it green because right now we're being really aggressive, right? So, and I might do the length of stay discount obviously will be 5 nights, 22%. So now I also then make the trip length minimum 3, right? The minimum stays 3. If they stay for 5 nights, they get 22% off, which means I'm making $2,500 either way.
Right.
What I might do now too, though, is I want to be flexible, like 4 nights. 4 nights times 800 and change is like, hold on. Yeah, so actually I'm all off. Our prices were 4,000 and
4,000.
something.
Right.
Yeah, so 4,000. I've got to knock 1,600 off of 4,000. That's more likely like 35%. I'm just going to skip and do fast math. So then this one would be more like 25% or something, right? And I would make my discounts designed to hit my target price at any length of stay.
Okay.
Right? And so for hyper high demand holidays, I want you to imagine now that in this scenario where we just created this kind of like hypothetical scenario, we can then go back to your competition There's only one person who's going to get seen for a 3-day stay so far, this family chalet. That's why they can charge so much, because they're the only option. Now, if you allowed a 3-day stay, you'd compete with them. Now, you also show up for 3 days and 4 days, and it's just you and this one other guy. Oh, and also this person, this cozy one that's really cheap. Oh, and this person too. So this person's at 3. So sorry. But over here, the week before, we go back a little bit. Yeah, so here to see there's a 7-day minimum on this guy here, 7-day minimum on this guy here, and then then 6 and 6 for these ones right here. So yeah, there's one person for 3, and then there's one person for 3 here. So for over Christmas week, there's only 2 listings that have anything less than 6 days, right? So when you do the math, you can math out to allow a 3-day stay at twice the price.
Right.
And then give half off for a 6-day. And you get the same amount of money in both outcomes. But now you're showing up in search where no one else is showing up in search.
Right. That kind of drives me crazy now when I do a search like that, for a random several nights, and this person has 25% off, and ours is just normal price.
And now we know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me do a 2-day search for 23rd and 25th. Let me just do a 2-day search in Gatlinburg. Wow, there's over 1,000 listings? No way. That's insane. Hold on. Let's filter by bed quick. So there's 235 listings with 7 beds, okay? In this area. Now, let's go and add a 3rd day. There's 275 with 7 beds, okay? Now there's 458. So 275 to 458 for a 3-day stay. Now let's jump up to a 4-day. 615. So we went from 2 something to 4 something to 6 something. And now if we do a 5-day stay, we're going to be probably over 1,000.
Right.
Yeah. Boom. If we go back into and look at who allows for a 2-day stay just for 2 days, just for like this, we can also see the price spread, right? And we can look at, how many listings are cheaper than $2,000 a night? 150, right? Then if we go and we search for these 6 days, we can see how many listings are cheaper than $2,000 a night. That would put us at 12, right? 547 are cheaper than $2,000 a night, where there's only 150 before. Right? So that's almost a 4 times increase in supply at the $2,000 a night mark. So if you charge $2,000 a night and allow a 2-day stay, you've got very little competition. And this is how we can manipulate supply and demand on special event days. So keep this in your back pocket. I'm not telling you have to do anything too crazy, but I do think that for this Christmas season, if you still are unbooked for this Christmas season, right now you're at 1,200 with a 6-day minimum. You can make yourself 2,300 for a 3-day minimum and tier down those prices over 6 days with a rule set. That'll give you more visibility with the same bottom line no matter what people book. And what's cool though is imagine you make the same amount of money just for 3 days though. You still have the rest of the days to sell off.
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Way cool. Right. And so at that point too, we also look at the balance of that, right? When we go, okay, how many more high demand days are left? If I get this one booking, how likely are these high demand days to get booked? Carnival is a really interesting, let's see if I can see Brazil. Okay. Rio tourism graph over Carnival. Let's see if it shows us amount of traffic. No, this doesn't give us a day by day. Okay, but I want you to imagine this bar chart. I want you to imagine that these are the days before Carnival, right? This is how people's prices would look leading up to Carnival, because these 2 days are the most important 2 days, right? And if these 2 days get booked, nobody's going to book before Carnival, really, because they want to book before Carnival to get through Carnival. So some of your days are going to be these crucial pinpoint super popular days. And you build your strategy around like those 2 days. Like imagine the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl is the day, but maybe people want to show up a week early, right? And you would love to get that booking where people show up a week early. But because Carnival has a reputation for being a 2-week long affair, what happens is people have a 7-day or 10-day minimum for Carnival because they want to maximize those days. And that then forces them to get the booking that is 10 days or longer, where the guy in the helicopter, the prince from Abu Dhabi, would spend 10 times as much money for a third of the days. And in your case, because your calendar is looking at like all of this stuff for Christmas and New Year's, instead of like Carnival, you could get a booking that goes through Christmas Day, and then you still will get a booking that goes through New Year's. You get two different bookings,
Right.
right? So I think by raising your rates some and then discounting over the course of 6 days back down to normal, you might be able to like maybe capture most of the same price, but for less days, and you will end up with net more money at the end. So
Right. Right.
I like the idea of a 3-day minimum. I wouldn't necessarily double the price, but I might ratchet my price up like 80%, which is nearly double.
So show me how you would do that in Price Labs.
Okay, so first we would take these days, we'd say minimum 3, and we go price change 80%, and then that would be what you do here, okay? And you do it for all of the days. So what I could actually do is I could highlight this whole thing like that.
Right.
Go minimum stay 3, and then fixed price change up 80%. But that's only one half of the equation. Now for the same days that I just highlighted, the 21st through January 1st, I would then have to go into Google, I mean, not Google, but Airbnb, and then I have to make a 4-night discount, a 5-night discount, and a 6-night discount. Where my 6-night discount now is probably like about 43% off. And everything else here in between gives progressive discounts from what is now an 80% uptick. So we go back, instead of the 6-night minimum, we now have a 3-night minimum at 80% inflation. And if we do, let's say that takes us from 100 to 180, just for the example. Now we're at 180. For 4 nights, we get 25% off of 180, which is about like a $45 decrease. Then 35% off of 180 or 43% off of 180. That brings us right back down to about 100.
Okay.
So that's how you could do that with the rule set plus Price Labs. If you wanted to, and this is like heavy intermediate stuff, by the way. This is not basic stuff, okay?
Okay.
So if this sounds a little bit Greek, then it should. And the purpose, the only time we really want to use this is to punish these people who all have the 6-day minimums going through Christmas.
Gotcha.
Right? If everybody has a 6-day minimum and so few people have a 3, that gives us a temporary supply demand bottleneck for these shorter stays, which allows us to charge a really stupid amount of money for a 3-day or 4-day stay because no one else will even take the business.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Cool. I'm glad you follow. So now let me just do a quick audit of your discounts. Your last minute within 30 days gradual, I don't know if I like, okay? Because I'd like to rather do this on Airbnb. So let me
Change
see.
anything you think needs to be changed.
Okay, cool. So your default minimum stay 2 and 3, I think is maybe okay. I might make this 2 and 4, maybe. And then, yeah, you're allowing gaps for this. This is all good. Actually, I like this. I like this a lot. But I might actually, for this, make it like this. Okay. But yeah, this is within 12 days. So never mind. Okay, cool. That's fine. And then, oh, you this is mine, isn't it? You've copied. Good job. Good job. Okay, great. Good job. Hey,
I don't know what I did. I just copied you.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. You crushed that. Okay, so now, last minute bookings, we are changing down to 2-2. Cool. What I would like for you to do, though, is I think I want you to stay at 2 and 3 within maybe like 45 or 48 days. Okay. And then I would like your default to be 2 and 4. Okay. Because I do not want you getting a 3-day instead of a 4-day weekend, because that's really what's going to gut you. These 3-day weekends are really, it's going to be what really hurts you a lot. So we're going to stick to a 4, anything outside of 48 days. So if somebody's booking 2 months in advance, they have to have a 4-day stay on the weekends. Adjacent day after unavailable night, we're going to take these and make these immediately 1, okay? And we're going to do that within 40, okay? So what this means is if on Tuesday, somebody checks out on a Tuesday, the Tuesday will have a 1-night weekend. We're still going to make it 2, okay? We want this to apply to weekdays. Apply within 1 days and 40. So if Tuesday has a checkout, then Tuesday will be a 1 day minimum stay. If Thursday has a checkout, then Thursday will be a 1 day minimum stay.
Okay.
Okay. It's kind of how that'll work. Now lowest minimum allowed, that's good. Okay. Now this is the part that I think we want to start doing this actually over like 60 days because your property is bigger. And so we want this gradual to come down. The real gradual, like the real last minute discounts, we're actually going to do on Airbnb. Normally, we're going to mostly do this on Airbnb.
Okay.
Orphan day adjustments, we will have a custom orphan day adjustment, which is that if you have a weekday with in a gap between 1 and 2, okay, so weekdays will get a 25% discount in a 1 or 2 day gap. Okay. And that'll be like inside of 70 days. So that means like you say you got Monday, Tuesday open and that's it. It's going to slash you 25%.
Okay.
Oh, change the fixed to yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
There you go. Good call. Say what's going on here. So that's going to be that. Customized far out prices. I like to price protect. Okay. So I would probably do a flat increase. We call this a margin of error. Okay. After 180 days or 200 days, we're going to go to 200. We're going to do a like a maybe just an 8%. I would like to do another one actually. So what we might do is do gradual. Okay. After 200 days, we're going to go and do this over 800 days. Okay. We're going to do a gradual increase of 30% like that. Okay. So from 20 to 800 days, you're going to slowly go up. And actually, because of this now, we actually have to change this because we want this increase to start actually affecting the 200-day mark. So after 160 days, you're going to slowly see an uptick on your rate over the course of 800 days with a premium of 30%, which means if you draw the halfway mark between 160 and 800, you're looking at probably like something like 680, which is like 2 years from now. So 2 years from now will be 20% higher.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
And that's just to save you against any market forces that we're not planning for.
Yep.
Okay.
And everything else here is good. Review changes. Okay, so let's go out here. Far out premium 11%. See that? It is working.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that fixed. Now, one other thing I want to look at is neighborhood data. See this bottom price at 256?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your minimum at 170, I think, is a little too low. We want to control this, okay? And here's what we mean. We might want to make your minimum like 280, okay? Now, here's what's going to happen. We're going to do something called clipping. Clipping is where we... Hey guys, thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end of this tutorial. Clipping is only for my Cracking Supro students. So this is as far as I can let you go on this 90-minute bonus coaching that I did with the new student. We're still doing the 90-minute bonus coaching. So if you are an existing host and you want me to work on your listing, pricing strategy, anything, when you sign up for Cracking Superhost, you'll get a 90-minute onboarding with me just to make sure you get mega fast results. And then you still get to work with me one-on-one for an entire year. It's a lot of one-on-one coaching. So I'm going to leave a link down below and here in the corner so that way you can learn about Cracking Superhost. And if there's anything else I can teach you that's not clipping, put any requests in the comments. And to continue your high-level free Airbnb coaching, here's another video for you to watch because 2026 is going to be wild times and there's other couple changes you should start making to your business right away. Again, thank you, my friends, and I'll see you on the other side.